Going, it's Miyako from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How you guys doing? I'm gonna push myself away. My face is so big. I want a proper camera someday. Like I'll be here. Okay, so let's wait for people to join. How you guys doing? Finally, our Prime Minister, Japan's Prime Minister Ishiba met with Trump for the first time in person. So it's the second world leader to meet with Trump after Netanyahu from Israel. So that's okay, right? Yeah. Hello, Yoko. Hello. Thanks for coming. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot of people are saying many different things about this though, because Ishiba to begin with is not very like he's not popular among the conservative circle in Japan at all. As I said, I think I explained it last week or so how like even our like iconic leading conservative figure, like really high level, who was close to Abe, like very influential on our national diet, like parliament members. Even she is saying like make him resign, make Ishiba resign. And Ishiba also is a minority in the diet in the parliament. So we are guessing that probably the American side, the Trump team, is thinking that his administration will not last long. So like, and also there were a lot of problems adjusting, like adjusting the schedule to meet and so on. A lot of different reports going on, and we are all misled and confused. But finally, though, it happened. Did you guys see it though? I was watching it in the middle of the night. I was gonna go to sleep on that day, and I realized like, oh, it's a meeting time. I took a shower at night, and then when I got out, it was already like 5 minutes in. I'm like, oh, I should watch this, and it was like 2 in the morning, I think. Like the conference, I think, what was it? Which I don't remember. The entrance greeting part happened, and then after the while, there was a joint press conference, and the press conference I think started like past 2:30 or so here. I was awake the whole time. I went to sleep at 5 in the morning. I'm still jet lagged or lagged. Yeah, even though I haven't flew to America, I feel like I was there. How are you? It went well too. Yeah, surprisingly. It's interesting because Japanese community had such a low expectation about this meeting. We're like some people even some people were posting like AI generated videos, or like a little like a short video though, like Trump choking Ishiba or something. Like they were making memes like that, expecting that to be a disaster. But it was actually great for Japan. And today's newspaper, like, so it happened for us. It's basically like 2 days ago, or in the morning of here. But so it didn't make it in time of yesterday's newspaper. So this one is reflecting. Today's newspaper is reflecting the conference, and it says U.S. Steel. This is Yomiuri Shimbun. So this is the biggest in Japan. And U.S. Steel investment agreed. Acquisition corrected. Our prime minister indicated, or like he made it happen. So 1 trillion US dollars to America, and talking about national security. And then what's interesting about this is here, like the like we cannot lose And so like all Japan preparation, and this column goes on and on about how like it was done like with all Japan. It's like a lot of people were confused. Like some of my like troll type of followers were confused, or rather like trying to tease me, I guess, to say like, oh, which one is it? Like, do you like Ishiba or not? Like, which one is it? Like, oh, you must be, writing things to get engagement and so on. Like, basically going here and there to get views and so on. I'm like, no. So Ishiba is disliked by conservatives, especially. For general opinion, I have no idea. You just have to see the approval rating, which is actually low. But yeah, but still, Ishiba, is the leader of Japan. We don't want him to fail, because if he fails, then that's a lose for our country, you know? So, like, for this, what we wanted him to do is to do well. Like, we don't like Ishiba, but like if he fails, then we will hate him even more. You know what I mean? And we have such a low expectation. Like you're following me on X, right? So I always post, like, I show you the like what you call, like, sentiment, like the emotions that Japanese people have. I show you as like a background knowledge, how Japanese people are viewing our prime minister. And I'm not siding with them necessarily. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Other times I don't, because I'm an individual. But I'm just, especially those who that are on the right side are like they engage in like social media a lot. They're loud. So and Sankei Shimbun, our conservative-leaning newspaper, their account is the one that usually get the most responses. So that's why I translate that. Other times, other news, but yeah, but it doesn't necessarily like reflect mine. But I just tell you that. But anyway, so we had such a low expectation, but it was great, which I will explain in a minute. And yeah, at the same time though, because the anti-Ishiba sentiment is so strong that there are people bashing him for the way that he sat on the chair and how he didn't unbutton his jacket while sitting, and just his attitude and that sort of things, like not even policies or anything or the content of the meeting, like they're turning into like a etiquette instructor, you know what I mean? So I'm fed up with that sort of like bashing with that content, like actual meaning. Ohio Yoko looks elegant and her hair is great as always. Thank you. It's shiny. Kind of shiny. Glad Ishiba came and was the second world leader to come 1 trillion investment. Yes, Trump already appointed an ambassador. He did? Who is the ambassador? 日本の大使。日本に来る大使、アメリカの。Who is it? President Trump spoke more highly of Shinzo Abe than he did of current prime minister. But Ishiba, Trump praised Ishiba so many times that I was like, I didn't expect that. I thought that it was gonna be just neutral, but he, like, at the beginning of the joint press conference, I know that it's so-called lip service, like Trump does that to everybody, including Kim Jong-un and so on. But still, like, it's good because you know what happened to Trudeau, for example, from Canada. Trump is like, yeah, 51 states, right? Like 51st state. That didn't happen with Ishiba, he rather called like, oh, here's a picture we took before this, and I'm not as handsome as Ishiba is, and that sort of things. Like, handsome? That was great. I was so thankful. Like, oh, Trump is like being nice to our leader, and it was so great. But you know why he was so nice though? It's because of this investment. But I told you, right? Like some people, like I was talking about how U.S. steel deal is horrible. I mean, the way the Biden despised it. Like Biden was against the U.S. steel deal from Japanese company, Nitetsu, Japan Steel. And I was saying like Biden is making a huge mistake because Japanese company will make sure that the executives today of the U.S. still will remain the same. Like they will get rewarded the same and so on. Like it's a generous deal. And I was explaining, and some of you were saying like, well, Trump would be against it too, and blah blah blah. Look what happened. I mean, it's not still like we have to wait for the conclusion, but Trump gets it. You know why? You know why I knew it? It's because I know Trump. Donald Trump is the kind of leader or businessman who knows who cares about pragmatic interests. He cares about the interests, you know? And Biden didn't see it. He was just emotional and wanted to compete with Trump on America first, basically. But Trump knows when a good, he knows deals. He knows a good deal when he sees one. And U.S. steel deal is actually generous from the Japanese side, and it's gonna and also of course they are fixing a little bit to correction here. It says the acquisition I guess the investment frame, I don't know how it's gonna work, but Trump is gonna meet the executives too, I think. But yeah, anyway, US Steel, and then investment and LNG. So we are gonna increase the import of LNG in Japan. So your export of LNG to Japan, and that's good because America wants to sell LNG, and Japan needs a stable energy sources. But when Russia invaded to Ukraine, our energy situation became unstable. So getting that from America is a good idea. So it's like a win-win situation, right? But the only problem is that it's from Alaska or somewhere, right? Alaska. So that's really really far. So it's gonna be expensive though. So it kind of depends on the prices, it seems, but fundamentally we want to make it happen. So that's good. And Japan US alliance, I'm reading this part. They have a table here. So yeah, Japan US alliance, so 100% defend Japan because we have a treaty. And Senkaku too. Senkaku, our treaty is gonna, make sure that how do I say that? Senkaku will be protected, right? Anti-China. I mean China, regarding China. So we are opposing to the what's the word? They put a new word, coercion. What is it called? Kyosei, I think. Let me see. This term is added.
Coercion.
Huh?
Coercion.
Coercion. So that's good. They're opposing China, And there, I mean, we are also we made sure that we opposed to China's invasion to. I mean, like China is trying to change the status quo in Taiwan Strait, so that's good that we agreed on that too. And then multilateral cooperation, Japan, US, Australia, India, or Japan, US, South Korea, or Japan, US, Philippines. Oh, so much. And it goes on in detail in the newspaper today. I wish I could read everything for you. But I'll just show you to get you the vibe here, what it's like. So the second page is like this. LNG, you can see LNG right here. And this is talking about our national security. We are glad that Trump is not telling us to raise our budget, for defense. I mean, defense budget, because we are doing the best we can, and we are boosting it. Actually, like we changed our revised our national security documents during the Kishida administration, right before the current one, Kishida administration. We revised it, so we are making it happen. And also, I think that Trump administration just considered our other sides of our policies. Just like I said, like LNG and U.S. Steel deal and so on. Like we make sure that the deal is win-win with America, so that based on that, like America is not gonna become hostile at us. So that's good. So national security and denuclearization, denuclearize. I don't know the word. North Korea. So that's good. We're gonna stop North Korea from, expanding with nuclear missiles. We're against the nuclear missiles. And also, abduction issue too. America is gonna back us. North Korea abducted a lot of our, officially only 17 or so, I think. But there are a lot of missing people in Japan who seems to have been abducted by North Korea. So Trump is there. Trump is gonna support us. And also, there's a helmet, golden helmet, that Ishiba gave to Trump. Yeah, this is our souvenir. Shinzo Abe gave a golden golf club to Trump, but yeah, this time it's a helmet because of Shogun and everything. And so yeah, investment. This is its investment increase, and so on. And then our prime minister received the photo book of Trump. It's signed, so it's historical, So yeah, and yep. And Trump is glaring. Trump administration is concerned about China, so values Japan. So that's an important point. I think that it's geographically different from situations with Canada and Mexico. Yeah. China is really a problem. So anyway, let's look at what you're saying. Sorry, I'm not taking up your comments. Jet lagged. Okay. Trump kept shouting out Abe's name like a long lost brother. I know. We noticed that. I think it's 5 times. I think I saw the number 5. But it's reported here that how he talks about Abe. He talked about Shinzo a lot. Shinzo. And as much as we were thankful about it, at the same time, some were reading it deeply to see if Trump meant be like Shinzo, basically. because they probably know, Trump administration probably know that Ishiba was against Abe, but Ishiba actually this time cooperated to be on the same same direction as Abe, like the foundation that was railed by Abe. He Ishiba followed that this time, so that's why we're a little surprised in a good way. Like Ishiba might not have been the best, still he did exactly what he had to. And that's why I am like evaluating this highly, because he didn't do anything stupid, and that's good enough for us. uh yeah. Hi Yoko, new follower from X here, love your post. Oh, thank you, that's nice. Thank you for finding me. Are there some in Japan who would vote to go back to an absolute monarchy? How would that work? Monarchy ってなんだっけ? Why? I should know all these vocabs and I always forget. 君主制君主制に戻るべき日本が We have Tenno Emperor, and he's a symbol of Japan. So like Japan hasn't changed since our nation was built. Let's see. If you send me super chat, it will be prioritized. Major difference between Japan conservatism and American conservatism. I would say because we have Tenno and we are one big family, like our country is like a family basically, so it's not the socialism equality, but it's like a family type. Like we are all Japanese, like like nearly 100% Japanese people, like 90 something percent are Japanese here. So we are just brothers and sisters, right? So wait, where was I getting at? So with that premise, we expect that everyone is treated equally, right? Because we're the same, basically. So, it's actually the influence of socialism, though. For example, in Japan, we have our national insurance, like health insurance, like Obamacare, kind of. It's probably different from what he was saying, but like we have the insurance, national health insurance system. And so like social welfare is actually big here. So like it's like a big government basically. And because it has grown, like our burden is piling up, and we can't, especially due to the inflation and everything too. Our country has been in recession, and some are reviewing what's going on economically, and we are learning a lot from the American conservatives because they seek for small government. And over here in Japan, even conservative people have supported big government. And I bet that it has a lot to do with our cultural background, together with the socialism influence before or during the World War II. It was expanding here to here. So we have our unique backgrounds to shape where we are today, but we are learning a lot from that. And American people seems to be just, very, very responsible individually. But over here in Japan, our culture is to have the, like what we call like a spirit for the public. Like we care about the public, not the individuals, but it's like a collective type of way of thinking. That public matters. So we have to kind of suppress ourselves to serve the public, and that's not socialism. It's just this collective way of thinking. So it's just that because of that, even conservative people are not thinking like the way that Americans think. You know what I mean? But it's because of the rise of Trump administration and also the better communication with American conservatives. Our conservative circle discourse is becoming a little bit like a shifting to be closer to American conservatives. I feel over the recent years. Hello from Australia. Hello. Good day. I saw the critic of his sitting, Ishiba. It's silly, right? So silly. What was a cool gold? That was a cool golden helmet gift. Yeah, it's actually from Tottori Prefecture, where our prime minister is from. So what happens often in diplomacy is that we give some gifts to other world leaders and so on, right? And so like Kishida gave some things to Biden as well, but when that happened, uh, if I remember correctly, it was from Ishikawa Prefecture, like some traditional things that they produce, and they give it like a cup or something, if I remember correctly. And then, but it was basically because Kishida gave that to Biden in jail because uh, the area where they make those products was affected by the huge earthquake in at the beginning of last year. Last year or yeah, so stuff like that. Ambassador Glass is a well-known businessman like Yoko's buddy, Senator Haggerty. Oh, really? That's good. That's good news. I wanna get to know him. Or her. I don't know who that is yet. George Glass. Okay. Cool. Cool. I'll look into him. Hopefully meet him one day. Good evening from Florida. Yay! Hello. Does Florida have alligators? Alligators. Like I used to watch this couple. They've already broken up, but like in 2009 or 10 or so, like I was religiously watching this YouTube channel called CTFXC. Like Charles, I think he was Charles. And often in the vlogs, I would see alligators. How soon until Sanae Takaichi or Shinjiro Koizumi become Japan's prime minister? Uh, One thing is that in Japan, so this year we are having in July, I think we are having a national election. It's the House of Councilor election. So when that happens, LDP, our ruling party, Ishiba's party, has to make sure that they can win because, they're weak right now. They want to win, but it really matters how Ishiba is doing around that time, or maybe like around in spring, they will decide whether they can win with the face of Ishiba. So if the House of Councilor members think like, oh, we don't think that we can win with him leading our party, then probably they will drag him down, and have a new leader, elect a new leader. So like around spring or so, like before the House of Councilor election, it might be a time. What do you think about Japanese taking in Palestinian refugees after Trump's resettles Gaza? It's really bashed so much. Like the only person that is defending that I've seen is the National Dime member who asked the question. I don't see people backing that. Like generally speaking, as I've like showed you all the translation of our voices regarding the like Japan accepting the Gaza people, like residents to here. Like everybody is afraid that terrorists will be mingled, and also it's just ridiculous. Just look at it realistically. Why do you have to send all these like wounded people and so on to all the way from Middle East to Japan? Like hours, like it's gonna take like 24 hours probably, a long time to carry it to Japan and treat them, send them back, and we might not be able to send them back also, and it's wrong, right? Internationally, it's wrong, right? So like everybody's like, why? Because the majority of people here have common sense. We're like, why? Like it doesn't make sense, and it's just dangerous to Japan, considering terrorism and so on too, because they do support the terrorist groups. So, yeah. And some people were saying like just dispatch doctors instead if we want to help, and also others were saying that we shouldn't get involved in Middle Eastern problem, because like Japan is not America, for example. Like we have our own standpoint where we can contribute in different ways. So like we don't have to all be the same all the time, if you know what I mean. Yeah, my husband is yawning right in front of me. He must be bored. My husband is right in front of me right now, and he's like yawning, and he said that, oh, because there's no super chat, I'm like falling asleep. It's not gonna wake me up. We need a huge, we need a big super chat. This is for free, by the way, so yeah. If you can support me financially, that'll be good. China. Houston, another lonely Valentine's Day, but the good news I get to do core this week. Is it core or chore? Chorus? Cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, Valentine's Day. In Japan, just like Christmas, the but Valentine's Day is for romantic thing, right? Super chat! My husband is wide awake. Oh my gosh, thank you! Oh, I'm brushing right now. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys should thank him. Patriotic guest house. Always thank you for a super chat. Okay, this live can go on because of this super chat. And my husband is smiling. Good. Thank you so much. I see, like I'm I'm happy. I'm happy now. I'm simple-minded, so yeah. I mean, I do all these activities for the good cause, but still, like, we do need to make a living, so yeah. Thank you. Oh, super chat. Thank you, Nate, too. Thank you. Yoko Tax. Yoko is only 21. Forever 21. Yes. Yo, Yoko. Yo. Play the piano, Yoko. That will wake up Hidetoshi. I should. I think Trump wants to see Gazan stay somewhere in the same region. Yeah, right? I mean, that's just common sense, right? Yep. Are Japanese Christians held in contempt or seen as a threat to Japanese traditions? No. Like the percentage is probably like 1% or so, like Christian population in Japan. So like it's not gonna affect us like culturally, and also like Japan likes diversity. Like it's probably hard to understand for Westerners, especially if you have like Christian values, I think. But like Japanese people, like our culture is diverse. Like ask anybody, even conservatives. Like we cherish a diverse culture. It doesn't mean that we just welcome everything, like of course like there's the standard and also the ratio and all these premises that we need to keep, but like generally speaking, like culturally, we embrace, because the majority of us are Japanese, because of that we like different things to just to embrace a little bit, if you know what I mean. And also, like me, for example, like I had biased opinions about Christianity before, because like right when I learned about history, I'm like, oh, is it about white people or is it about Christianity? Like I was so confused. But I realized it's the problem of the ideologies, like communism, socialism, and liberalism all affecting in a bad way. And conservative people just kept their common sense even in America. And that's what I learned after studying it. So now I just think about all these ideology problems and so on. And yeah, and Christian people too. Like at first, I have to say that I was a little like intimidated in a way that they, believe in different things from I do personally. But then I realized like atheists, like those who don't believe in divine power, they are rather a threat to society, because at least even if the religions are different, like real beliefs are different, even if that's the case, at least like you believe in unless you're like a fundamentalist in the Middle East, just generally speaking, like if you mildly believe in some kind of religion, then you want to be good, right? Like you want to be good, and you want to do good, do well for the society that you are in and so on. You want to contribute, right? And that sort of like cultural aspect is what's missing in the world, I think. So for that, regarding that, so I think that Christians are cool, uh, and Japanese people, for example, like we don't even the majority of people don't even realize that we have our own beliefs. Like it's so soaked into our just everyday life, so that people don't realize it. Like before we eat, for example, every meal we do this, like itadakimasu. We say itadakimasu. Basically, thank you for your life. Like you guys probably thank your God and so on, but over here, like we thank the foods and who made it and so on. Like we just say thank you so much for a sacrifice, because of the lives that are given to us, we get to live, so we thank. And that's a way of recognition, and it's just a religious type of thing. So but people don't realize it, at the beginning of the year, though. Every year at the beginning, we go to shrines and so on to worship. They think that it's just nothing, even though it's Shinto. Ishiba is a panda lover? Really? Panda lover? Oh, you mean like China? Like panda hugger? Yeah. Ishiba is. But what I realized though through this Ishiba Trump meeting this time is that if we support Ishiba in the right way, then he will just be the prime minister that we need. The problem, I think, of Ishiba is that I think that he has a kind of a mental problem, because he wasn't the mainstream for such a long time. In politics, it's what happens. For example, right now, just look at it right now. For example, right now, Takaichi, there's a conservative politician like who is associated with Abe, Shinzo Abe. So close, like somebody like Shinzo Abe, Takaichi. It's a female. Sanae Takaichi is really great, but right now she's not even receiving the job offers from Prime Minister Ishiba. Like, no, like, I'm not gonna do that. Why? Because she wants to distance from Ishiba right now. Not only because the beliefs that she has is different from Ishiba, but conservative people want to just drag him down so that we can have our favorable administration. And we expect that Ishiba will, resign soon, right? So that's why we are going so aggressive, like, no, Ishiba, no, 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 right? But what if Ishiba stays in power for years? Then Takaichi will be out of off the mainstream, in the corner of the party and so on. And that's what happened with Ishiba, basically. I'm not too sure if I'm right, but Ishiba just, complained about Abe, and Abe will not like that, right? And he was off mainstream, trying to say different things from others to be cool. And then but because Abe administration lasted such a long time, like historically long, Ishiba's attitude was not, it didn't develop in the right way. Like, he just pushed himself in the corner within his own party, and now he has the power, and not nobody, like, he was elected, but like, he has consequences, he's facing the consequences. So yeah, politics, man, politics, it's so difficult to calculate everything. As long as you behave yourself in Japan and be respectful, you'll be accepted, or is it deeper than that? What do you mean? Like foreigners? Like, oh, I don't know the premise of the question. You ask for super chat, you get super chat. I'm asking for super chat. Yeah. I heard the meeting went well and Trump got a samurai helmet out of it. Yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Shogun. Did you guys see Shogun? We can't watch it. It's in another. We only have Netflix, so like it's such a luxury to subscribe to all these different services. So we are limiting to Netflix right now. Yoko, we respect the grift. Super chats bring happiness in the world. Grifting is a term for inspiring super chats. Ooh. Very insightful talk. Oh, cool. Thank you. What was your opinion on Passion of Christ again? Which one was that? I watched several movies about Christianity again because I want to learn about you, like the kind of world that you are seeing, like we all have filters, right? So yeah, movies are good. I really like Mose, the dividing the waters, so cool. Jukai, 10 Commandments, I like that. Hello, Yoko, long time no see. Oh, Tony, yeah, long time no see. Thanks for coming. You should never relate a religion to any race. One should only be part of the universal and single true religion. True. Yeah, like we are unconsciously being racist every day. I need to stop that too. Like I can't. Yeah, but I also like to read the tendencies and characteristics though, so it's kind of contradicts. Let's see. Winnie the Pooh. Oh, super chat, thank you. We call alligators swamp puppies. Ooh, because in the swamp and puppies. What? But I like reptiles. Is it called reptiles? Hachuri. I didn't I look up this word before too? Reptiles. Yeah, reptiles are so cute. Reptiles, so cute. But I guess alligators are good to look at, but they're scary. No, Shogun. Shogun is one of my favorite books, and I loved both series. Cool. I watched the first 5 episodes of Shogun, but I watched the whole 1980 Shogun. Really? There's a 1980 Shogun? Good night, Yoko and Cha. Congrats. Looks like the meeting with Trump and Ishiba went well. God bless. Ciao, ciao. Oh, you're going to sleep. Good night. You are fantastic on making your lives interesting. The perfect balance between. That. Thank you. Yeah. I remember the Christian kids show called Veggie Tales? Cold? Why? Okay. What kind of. I'm just looking through the comments. They tried that in Egypt and they tried to overthrow the government. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Should I go inside the newspaper? There was more. So I showed you this part. Oh, Domino Pizza, by the way. Domino Pizza. 172 Domino Pizza stores are closing in Japan. 172 stores. Domino Pizza closing. But Domino is the best though. Like as for the taste. But they're pricey here. Okay. I will show you here. Oh, I just dropped one page. I don't know where this is. What? Help me. Okay. Can you see? Indo-Pacific. Like valuing Indo-Pacific. Quad Corporation promotion. Trump senpai. So yeah. Oh, just looking at the picture, I just randomly remembered that there was a scene in the joint press conference, like when the reporter, I don't know where he works at, but this guy was asking to Ishiba, like if he is thinking about retaliating to Trump's tariff and so on, and he didn't answer the hypothetical question. I was proud of him when it comes to that. But it was some people are complaining though because the translator didn't precisely translate it. What Ishiba said was that we don't answer like hypothetical questions in the national diet. Like it's what we do in the national diet. But that part was just translated as like officially, like a little like different wording. So some people are like language nerds, like they're complaining. But the meanings, like what he was saying was correctly translated. I think the essence of it was conveyed perfectly. And therefore Trump responded in the way that he did. But yeah. The founder of Domino Pizza is from Michigan. He owned the Detroit Tigers baseball team for a number of years. Oh, cool. This Domino Pizza in Japan, though, I read that it's actually their headquarters is in Australia. I guess like this different, I don't know about business, but yeah. In the Pacific. So basically talking about Quad. And it's interesting how they have this map explaining like the like where each country stands, like North Korea, China, Japan, India, the relation with America. Oh, about the conference though, like Ishiba prepared a lot beforehand to for this meeting, and I read also somewhere. Oh, I think it was from this newspaper that he Ishiba was scared about this meeting because he never knew what Trump would say. So they have prepared like Q&A, like assuming the questions that Trump will ask. And so like they were having a meeting starting in December, I think. And so they had like multiple of meetings beforehand to prepare to meet Trump. And so the Ishiba collected people like bureaucrats and so on that served during Trump was in power, so that they can guess better than others. So yeah, that's what they did to meet Trump, and Ishiba was actually scared. And what's the problem is that even though it's like a small number of meeting, to prepare for the meeting with Trump, but somehow his commentary, like Ishiba's commentary that Trump is scary, is leaked to get on the newspaper. So like, why? Ishiba is too honest sometimes, and also like I don't know, a lot of things get leaked. Yeah, so yeah, it's on the front page. This column says that right before the conference, people around him were saying that, oh, we are 100% ready, right? And on the other hand, Prime Minister Ishiba said that it's scary because I don't know what Trump is gonna say. And that's our leader. But yeah, but I mean, it went well. But what's interesting though is that so they prepared in all Japan. So chief secretary staff, what is that word? Hayashi, Mr. Hayashi, and also like foreign ministry people, and also Ministry of Trade, and what's METI, Economic Treasury. Huh, I don't know the word. But the bureaucrats got together. Yeah, and they prepared like before meeting Trump. I mean, they used it, I think, but so this team made a map, like a nationwide American map, to show the Japanese investment in America, and also like the deficits, American deficits with Japan decreasing over the three decades. Like they prepare the documents, and that sort of like economic documents. They prepare like seven kinds of materials. So like they were prepared like because they did in the way. Oh, Super-chan, thank you so much. Keep fighting. Yes, sir. You should. Thank you so much. Yeah, they did it because Ishiba is very dim and dark, and he speaks really, really slow. Like, I am. Well, about that. Well, like I said, he speaks like that, and also his expression is so dark, So like, yeah. So we were concerned if like they can have a conversation, like he can have a conversation with Trump. Like Trump is blunt, and also like Trump likes to hear the conclusion and then a little bit of explanation, as far as we know. So like, you have to get to the point to show what it's about, like what we want, what we don't want, and that sort of like business talks. But Ishiba is not good at that. So what Japan did was to prepare all these documents, like maps included, to show like visually, because visuals aids are useful, right? So that's what they did, and it works. So I'm happy about that. Let's see. This is Q&A, so ask me questions. I did my part to try Domino's Pizza in Japan. I tried to help. Yeah. It's so weird to me how Japan isn't Christian, but it has so many references to Christianity in their shows and games. Is it because they relate it to the West? Christianity is not Western. Oh, that is so true. That's a good point. Like when we hear Christianity, at least I can't speak for everybody, but at least I get the impression that it's Western. It's wrong, right? I come to think of it. Huh. Interesting. But yeah. But what's interesting is that in Japan, though, like I said before, we have like private schools, kindergarten to elementary school, junior high school, even university. Like private business can be like Christian. So my husband, he believes in Shinto. However, he went to Christian kindergarten, and then elementary school he just went to the public elementary school. But then in junior high school, like 3 years, junior high school, and then high school, another 3 years. Junior high school to high school, my husband went to the same Christian school. So that's why he knows a lot about Bible. And when I ask him about Christianity, he can answer and tell me. So that's a perfect combination. I married the right guy. So yeah. Oh, Subaja, thank you. Watching while I stuck in Shinjuku on my way home. Really, you're stuck? Sagamihara, dude. To Sagamihara due to an accident. There was an accident, like a train accident. 今日もよろしくお願いします。いつもありがとうございます。Christianity is not Western. Africa is the most Christian continent in the world. Really? What? I didn't know that. Christianity isn't African. Either Christianity is global because it's God's religion. Yeah. What's interesting is that in Asia has the biggest Islam nation. Indonesia. Indonesia is the biggest Islam country. Isn't that interesting? Like sometimes like we just forget or don't recognize because we're so stereotypical, and it's not like stereotypes often align with the reality, but other times it doesn't. So it's really interesting. How similar is Australian Domino's to Japanese Domino's? I have no idea. I want to visit Australia one day. Because I have the impression that Australia is so warm. But I have no idea though. That's it. Because like when in winter we fantasize about like warm weather, and then in Australia it's the opposite. So oh yeah, and also Shinzo Abe attending UCLA. He went to UCLA? I didn't know that. 2ドル見たよ全部多分。But yeah, let's see. He got immersed in English and exposed to Christianity at some point. I mean, Akie isn't Christian? Wait for me. I'm gonna look it up. Abe Akie. Isn't Aki a Christian? Oh, like Aki Abe went to Christian schools too. Akiさんってクリスチャンだったっけ？うん。So Aki is Christian. Ishiba is Christian. Taro Aso, our former prime minister, like close to Abe, is Christian. So elites tend to be Christian because, as I said, they have money, they can go to private schools, and private schools are often Christian. So, yes. Oh, Super Chat, thank you. When it comes to Asia, where does Japan want to be? What do you mean? Where? What kind of where? Like geographically, economically? Often in Japan, by the way, we talk about, we wish that we could move further away from China. We want to move to the Pacific Ocean side, like to the American side, but because of the earthquake, we are actually going to the other side, like towards South Korea and China. Albert Upson, thank you. Yoko Tax, yes! Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. I can't live because of you guys. Australia is made at 90% of desert. Really? Like in the middle? I actually saw this random photo or illustration, like map. What am I saying? Map. I saw a map on X today, and it was showing that like the majority of Australian people, like where majority of Australian people live, and it just showed the dot on the east side and the west side. I'm like, what is this? Is that true? As a former Christian school elementary teacher in Japan, oh wow. I was surprised they are not Christian students. I know. In Hawaii, he says me too. But it's not like we are disrespecting it, we can just, I don't know, like we just don't resist. We can just simply accept, we might not convert, but we do good enough to respect, you know what I mean? Like it might be disrespectful for Christians, but from our side, it's like respecting. Oh, Super Chat, thank you, brought up. Australia is 90% desert and 10% giant spider. No, I like spiders though. Yeah, he doesn't like it. Like every time. Like what I like I like reptiles, I like spiders. He doesn't. He's like every time he come across like reptiles or spiders, he's like yuck. Like, bleh. He's like bleh. And every time I'm like, how dare, So yeah, spiders. I like spiders because they eat which is fly, which is this R and L are difficult to remember. Hae. In Japanese, it's hae. Flies. Because it flies. Yeah. Flies. Like our Japanese little spider, it's actually named after what they do. Like eat the flies. Jumping spider? Is it called jumping spider? Seriously? Huh? They do jump a little bit. I know that. Look how cute. Yeah. But yeah, they eat flies. So like my mother, when I was little, I'm like, oh, there's a spider, right? When I was 8 or so, and then my mom was like, oh, it's a spider that eats flies. So just we gotta let it live. So yeah, And you know, in this place too, like it was really humid and hot in summer, so we did get like fruit flies, and I couldn't get rid of it, like even after using stuff, like some spray and so on. They just didn't die, and then there came the spider, and after that they're gone. So I like them. I even have a spider necklace. But I'm scared of like the toxic ones, like the poisonous ones, though. Did you see the Reagan movie? No. レーガンのレーガンの映画とかあるレーガンの映画とかあるレーガン。What is the Reagan movie? 映画。Reagan. Oh, 2024? What? From the glitter of Hollywood to the world stage, Ronald Reagan overcomes the odds to become the 40th President of the United States. I didn't know that. We should watch that. 2 hours. Reagan. Cool beans. I dislike spiders and crocodiles. Oh no. Those little red dots have airports too. Ooh. Cool. Oh, super chat, thank you. The first super chat, thank you. Hi from Poland. Or once Japan built its military to a level to protect itself, how does the Japanese people feel if America pull our troops home? Oh, we would feel vulnerable to China. Yeah. I mean, because we have seen the example of the Philippines. I think it was フィリピンだったよね、米軍が引いたら中国だったよね。うん。え？クラーク。クラーク空軍基地。Clark? Clark. So like when America pulled from Philippines back in the day, Subic. Yeah, you should know. I don't know, sorry, but I just know by the example like about Philippines. Like I've heard of it that in the Philippines they had stations, and then they pulled America pulled, and then the Philippines became vulnerable, and then China came. So that is something that we don't like happening. But at the same time, though, like Japan knows the burdens that America is having. Like America is not like they can't afford to, watch all countries anymore, and there are more. I understand that there are problems inside of America, and also they want to focus on economy and so forth to rebuild the country, to make America great again, and I get that. And but the shift has been happening though. Like during the first Trump administration, my recognition is that Trump ended the war against terrorism, and then Trump administration started to focus on Chinese threat rather. So that's what we were doing, right? And so even though we were focusing on China, at the same time, starting with Obama administration actually, because he had the pivot like a pivot to Asia, right? Because like no, like America can no longer be the police of the world. Or like we were shocked to hear that phrase. Like at least like he didn't have to say that, like politically speaking, because it represents that America is weakening. Like we can tell when that happens. Like in each country, not just America, but we can see the flow of like each country. But like the phrase, he shouldn't have said that. But anyway, so we see that what America is going through. We can see what's happening, and so starting around there, I think that America started to kind of like they're still here, but they're shifting because especially uh, the threat, the rise of the threat of China, it's rising. So it's getting realistic that American soldiers could be affected. So they are moving people to Guam. They basically kind of backing, like they were there in Japan, but shifting. And then I don't know how it works because I'm not an expert of the military sector, but from what I understand, they're shifting things to make it efficient, but also like to, of course, like America just want to command, you know, and it's our region, Japanese and Taiwanese region, so we gotta take care of it. But still, like America comes in to help us too, to fight together. So yeah, that's my understanding. And yeah, Japanese people right after World War II, like in both like conservative and leftist, we wanted to uh, make the bases go away, of course, because of how we started, right? Because it happened because we lost the war. So right after the war, that was a situation, but the time passed and our mutual efforts shaped our alliance the way it is today, and we have respect and understanding of each country. And also, China is today's enemy, so we are focusing on that. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Thank you for asking. Oh, thank you for another super chat. I mean, the influence and power. Thoughts on Mexico. Influence and power. What was that? Oh, I see. Where is Japan? Like power? We want to be the leader of Asia, for sure. Yeah. But China is strong and economically, even though like militarily, China is trying to expand. They took Tibet, Uyghur, like on the other side of like geographically speaking. If you look at the map, China and Tibet, Uyghur, and then southern Mongolia. Like oh, you have to reverse it, but yeah. But on our side, they're trying to expand too, and they took Hong Kong and now Taiwan and Senkaku Islands of Japan. They're expanding, so we need to stop it. So the East Asia, even South Korea. South Korea has actually like pro-China influence, pro-China, pro-North Korea activists are there. Even Chinese people are mingled among South Koreans, and South Korean conservatives are realizing the threat. I mean, generally, South Koreans don't like China today. Like they know, they understand the threat, so they are with us. So, uh, yeah. And then Japan is like we're like not in we want to be a leader here, but not in the way that we want to colonize or anything. Just symbolically. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Just like America wants to be the leader. You want to stand on the top, just like that. But it's not like our nation's will. I call it nation's will. Japan doesn't have that because we are so traumatized by World War II that we were labeled as the bad guy, and we don't want to get in that position again. Right? Like we're good-hearted people, and we want to just be good. So we have to see the balance. It has to be like a multilateral cooperation. That's why it works. Like in the Pacific, like free and open in the Pacific strategy works because that like everyone cooperates together for the big cause. So that's the common understanding. But of course, we want to take the initiative. And plus, what's great about Japan is that this is something that I realize when I do political activities on a private level too, that Japanese people are good at like secretary general type of jobs. Like stereotypical. This is stereotypical way of viewing. I know, but foreigners in general, like non-Japanese people, they're kind of sloppy when it comes to, you know, contacting everybody and preparing the document to agree on and so on. But Japanese people like that sort of like minor detail tasks. Like we are good at it. Like we are perfectionist. So like it just I think that it just meets the role that we take will be a good fit for us. That's my just personal way of thinking. Super chat, thank you. Love your knowledge of current events and world politics. Oh, thank you. Time for bed. It's late here. Oh, yeah, yeah. Thanks and good night. Thank you so much. I know this is late. I woke up late because I was watching the conference the other night in the middle of the night, and my sleeping schedule came back to the late schedule. So, but thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Come back again next week. Oh, Tony, another super chat. Thank you. That's why Japan needed nuclear deterrence. Yeah, or even more powerful deterrence. Like you have nowadays like a hypersonic weapons and so on. That's something we could develop, right? Do we have? 日本って超音速のなんかあったりするの？ない。ない。Not yet. But you know, maybe like by the time our consensus we get the consensus nationwide like oh we should have nuclear weapon, then there might be like even stronger weapons in the world. Nine. Yeah, nine. When in Japanese when we say we don't have things, nine. Like no, nine. Micromanaging, yes, yes. That's what we are good at. That's probably why the Germans and Japanese get along so well. I agree. Like I haven't met many Germans, but the stereotypes, you know, in the world say that they like regulate, they respect rules, right? So there's this like a stereo, this example of the world on a ship, like it's a stereotype example, and like you know how people on the ship will behave. So basically like if you tell Americans like oh if you get off the ship you become the hero, then Americans will dive in. And Japan, if you tell like oh everybody's doing it and then we will jump. And Germany, if you say like oh it's the rule, then they will jump. And that sort of things. I forget about maybe UK. It's a gentleman thing, like huh? Honor UK. That's for that's for UK. It's an honor if you if you jump, then they will jump. So yeah, it's a famous example here. Yeah. Oh, this live stream has been over 1 hour. Oh my gosh. Time flies when you're having fun. You have both the technology and the capacity to make nukes. I know. I mean, Japanese people know. But our leftists, man, our leftists are so loud. And just like in America, you know, leftists are usually elites, like intelligentsia. So they're intellectual, very intellectual. Extra yoga hour. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Have to have to keep speaking. Yes. But as long as I get super chat, I can speak. It's like an energy source. Super chat is my energy source. Yeah. I have my water here too. I'm prepared. So, yeah. But yeah, what was I saying? Nukes. Yeah. Liberals or communist socialists, they're so loud and just like the what you call DEI type of things too. Liberals here, or even like communists too, like they believe that by what they're saying, they're serving the country. Like they want to be good, so without knowing the political dynamics, they just say things like, "Oh, no more wars," or "Don't have nuclear weapons, abolish all the nuclear weapons." I'm like, say that to China or Russia. Oh, super chat, thank you. Thank you for your entertaining videos. I will pray for the conversation of Japan. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, I'm really hoping that over the years, I think that Japanese culture is appreciated in the world, which I appreciate, but still, like historically, China, especially Chinese communists, and also pro North Korean, South Koreans, and so on, they campaign against Japan. They keep bashing Japan, citing historical events, even distorting and fabricating what happened in the past to attack us. And that is very, because they have, like, if you look at China, like, they have a lot of people and a lot of people in the military forces and everything. So they know, I mean, they have the capability to manipulate, throughout the world. So we Japanese people we've been having problems, uh, like over the historical disputes, and that's one of our weaknesses. So that's something, but that we need to fix. But I am thankful though that there are more and more people that understand Japan better, through like anime and so on too. So that's we are really thankful for that. Oh, super chat, thank you. 2050年までに戦争はサイバー戦争へと進化するため核兵器は時代遅れになる可能性が高いですね。ねえ。So nuclear weapons might be what outdated. I agree. Oh, super chat, bird up, thank you. What? Extra Yoko battery pack. I like that battery pack installation for 2 hours. Oh, I'm not gonna let you sleep tonight. Yeah. Oh, super chat. Oh, cool. D. Hello from Arizona, and thanks for all the content. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to this stream. Oh, this is the sound of me like charging battery. I'm so simple-minded. I don't know if I am supposed to be happy about how I am. It shows on my face. It's something that I've been getting since I was little, like, oh, like Yoko, like it's written on your face, what I'm thinking and so on. But yeah, Arizona. Arizona is cool. Thank you. Oh, Superchat, thank you. For some reason, I can't super most of my comments. You can't send super chat? No? I said conversion, no conversation. Conversion. Oh, you mean a Christian conversion? Play the piano for the duration of the live stream. I wish I had a real, like, electronic piano or something. I actually don't have. What I have right now is MIDI keyboard now, so I need to plug it in using USB, like my laptop and so on. I wonder with the fall of USA if wokeness globally will lessen. Yeah, the problem of USA for us at least is that I'm conservative, right? But because like in each country the premises are different, like what it means to be conservative and leftist it's different in each country of the world. So because of that, we actually work with liberals in the world, like when it comes to fighting China and Russia, and those like human rights activists and so on, they they receive aids from America. So if you cut all the things in the world, then they will be affected. So when they get affected, then all this like humanitarian things, like it's humanitarian, but at the same time, my perspective is that even though they probably believe in the humanitarian, like it's, just to be good and so on. But for me, I work with them because it fits my aim to basically attack China, like Chinese communists. That's our enemy. So the and if you support, like for example, Tibet, Uyghur, or Southern Mongolia or Hong Kong, if you support them, they will fight China for you. Because it's about their life, it's about their country, homeland, and they want to take it back from China. So if you support them, it gives the good consequences for you, positive consequences. And that's why I do the activities that I do. Like I cooperate with Tibetans, Uyghurs, Southern Mongolians. Or as for Southern Mongolians, my husband and I, we had received a request from Southern Mongolians, because there's this guy from so-called Southern Mongolia, and his name is Hada, but he's been captured by China because he works for the cause of Southern Mongolia. He got detained by China, and then like they sentenced him for a certain period of time, and then they just kept him detained for extra 4 years, and then he couldn't even receive medical treatment and so on. But he could have got out if he signs this document like, oh, I will obey China and that sort of things. But he refused to do it because he's proud, right? Proud patriot. And then so he couldn't get out and so on. He's been fighting. And then so the Mongolians wanted to nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize. Even though there are criticism over Nobel Peace Prize, you can actually use it, right, to fight China. So they wanted to nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize. My husband and I got a request, so we talked to National Diet members here in Japan. So that's why we went to Tokyo a while ago, and then successfully got 4 signatures. Like that's, you only need one basically, but just got more. If we spent more time, and of course, like we could have received more, because we do have a lot of connections in the Diet. But that's what we did. So that's what we do. Because why would they sign to nominate him? Because those National Diet members believe that it is wrong, and also Japan wants to take the initiative when it comes to human rights issues like this. And human rights issues of China matters to us because China is expanding towards us too. So yes, we are in this together. So yes. Okay, let's see. Do you think Europe has much of a future, seeing as it will likely take in Palestinian refugees and Russia may get Ukraine? ヨーロッパどうなると思う？いろいろその難民とかいろいろ押し寄せているし、あとウクライナもロシアに負けたとしたらどうなると思う？So, in order to avoid that scenario to begin with, we need to make sure that Ukrainian side win in the war, and for that, European countries have to pay more. Yes. Yeah, Trump says that too. Yes, yes, yes. My husband, by the way, is my political mentor. That's why I'm asking. Yes. As for Japan, when I talk about Russia, American conservatives don't like it because I support Ukraine, right? When I say I support Ukraine, Americans go like, "Oh, you're deceived by deep state," blah 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 blah. I always get that. But I'm Japanese. I live in Japan, and we have issues with Russia historically. We've been into war with Russia in early 1900, and we won. It's like a miracle, though. Like the more I learn, like it's like wow. But anyway, and then they have currently Russia has our northern territories, illegally occupying Japan's territories. So, what does that tell you? Russia is our enemy. If they want to have a healthy relationship with us, then they need to abandon those islands that they have stolen from us, you know? And also, after that, we can sign a treaty to, put past in the past. We haven't done that. We fought in the World War II. They illegally occupied our northern territories. They haven't returned it. There's no peace treaty signed since that time. They're our enemy, right? And so Japan has our own standpoint, and for that we side with Ukraine. And also, we really Japanese perspective is that it's probably you might not like it because it's probably seen from conservative values in the U.S. Probably it's the same as liberals in the U.S. But we believe that we shouldn't make the premise that those unilateral change of status quo shouldn't happen, because if Russia invades with force and then they take the land, then it's like dictators in the world will see as oh, we can just invade, take, and claim, just take it with force and change the status quo that way instead of diplomatically working it out, like negotiations and so on. Not needed, just need to expand militarily. If we allow it, then it's gonna be the premise of the future. And we don't want that happen, especially considering the threat of China, because as I said, like they're coming to Taiwan and Senkaku Islands of Japan. So yeah, that's why we support Ukraine. And also Japan, we after the World War II, you know how everything like everywhere was burnt down, but we reconstructed our country. People above my generation, they worked so hard to rebuild everything, and so we have a lot of knowledge and technology to rebuild a country, so we can so that's like an investment, even though it's like a helping Ukrainian people in Ukraine, but it's like investment for us Japanese, politically speaking, because if we help them, they will thank them. And if that happens, then we have a healthy diplomatic relations. And if that happens economically, we can prosper together and so on. So all the positive consequences. So that's we are heading. But when every time I talk about this Japanese standpoint in Japan, I'm not like trying to change Americans' point of view. Americans have their own opinions based on their values and their interests right now, right? And they have their priorities. So I understand it, like if Americans view it differently, but it doesn't mean that they get to tell us to change our mind because we have our own reasons. You know what I mean? So what matters in politics is that because we have different things going on, we need to talk it out and see what we can cooperate on and so on, right? Yeah, and if Japan take the initiative about Ukraine, then that should mean like America does, like they don't have to do everything by their own. So yes, but I'm glad though that Trump kind of corrected, like I mean shifted his what he was saying before. Like he was at first he was saying like 24 hours. Now it's 6 months. And also I think that he talked about the resources on the areas, the east area of Ukraine. So like it's gonna be an investment for America too. So that's a good shift. Like it's so good. I'm so glad that I never lost hope for Trump, because some people were saying mean things about him, like whether it's U.S. Steel or whether it's about Ukraine. People just assume the worst case scenario from Trump, but I know Trump. I know how he thinks. So like what he says as an outsider and what he says as a leader is different. Like for elections, you have to kind of agitate. Right? To be honest, you have to agitate, right? So like I could tell like when he was agitating, and fundamentally speaking though, like some things don't change. So like I was calculating all that sort of stuff to see where he stands, and I knew that he's a good listener. Trump listens to people, at least because he's a great deal maker. So I know that he listens to people. It's a rumor here though that Trump gets affected by the last guy that he speaks to. So like, that's interesting. But yeah, he listens, and he is actually like, because he's a good person. Like you know that he's a good person, right? Like so, like I knew that if like Ukraine approach make a good approaches like officially, then he would listen. And same for Japan, like U.S. Steel and so on. Biden is the typical like discriminative American, the bad kind of American. Like we have bad kind of Japanese people too, so just so you know. But like that bad guy, seriously, like Biden was behaving in a way like, oh, we are so good, such a good people, oh, we shouldn't, uh, attack Russia, no World War III, blah blah blah, and he was thus making things worse, and he was not listening to other countries, and he was just bad. But Trump is different. He knows what to do, and he knows how to make it work with people. Like he has a mind of a leader, in my opinion. So that's why I had all this respect for him, and I wanted to, like I kept saying. I remember saying it to you that I just hope, I was saying, I just hope that things will turn out well for Ukraine, considering my country's standpoint. I was saying that like for like 100 times, right? So good, man. I hope that everything will work out, better than we had previously expected. Oh, super chat. Thank you. Oh, I want to press that heart. Okay. Japan should have their rights back. World War II was a long time ago, and Japan needs to be need to be the power in Asia. We should be equal allies. Thank you so much. That means a lot to us. Yes, because uh, it's like a fresh air to receive comments like that, because again, like in East Asia, we are bullied, with the historical disputes and so on. Like, oh, Japan is nasty, mean, atrocious, and all that sort of things. Like, we get that daily from China, like CCP China, not the Chinese. I don't know. Some brainwashed Chinese are mean to us too, but like there are like good-minded Chinese people too, like who we are actually friends with in Japan. There are lots of Chinese people here in Japan, but like Democrats type of Chinese, those who are fighting the communist regime in China. They have common sense. Maybe their cultural backgrounds are different, but like at least politically, they're way better. than communists. So we work with them. So we have people like that, but generally speaking, like if you talk about politics in East Asia, Japan is usually thought to be the bad guy, and that's why we have war guilt. It's war guilt, that they just imprint us, even for the things that we didn't commit to. It's just generally bashing us constantly. And it gotten better with especially because I guess America was pressuring us to, even Obama was pressuring us to be better, with each other. Back in 2015, I think that there was the agreement between Japan and South Korea. Japan South Korea agreement. Google it and you get a hit. But it was like Abe, Park era in East Asia, like Park. Remember the female president of South Korea, Park? We had an agreement. Japan gave a lot of money to apologize for what? It's weird because we have a treaty in 1965 saying that everything is resolved. Somehow this China influenced Koreans kept bashing us. So our government was like, because culturally Japan just apologized to things, wishing that it would just stop. So our government, our politicians apologized, which is bad move in politics. I know, but they did that, made things worse. Our left bias media agitated even more because they are like human rights and so on, right? So they did that, and we were in a bad situation. But then Abe came back as a second administration, and since then, around that time, I think that America needed Japan to be strong against China, because by the time Xi Jinping became the president, I think in 2012 or so. So yeah, that. So then, kind of premise the backgrounds began to shift. So we had to do well with each other. We had the agreement. Still, we had. After that, Park fell in South Korea, and then the next administration in South Korea was Moon Jae-in, pro North Korea Moon Jae-in, and and he was such a pro North Korean president of South Korea that he basically destroyed South Korean system, social system, and so that was bad. But then Yoon became the president, conservative Yoon, right? Is it after Moon Jae-in? But Yoon was so Yoon was really good. People are bashing him for martial law, but he, even though there was some criticism in his own country, he focused on improving the relationship that he has with Japan, and Kishida was open to the idea too. They had this mutual interest to have a stable relationship so that we can counter China together. So it worked well. And then, but China, of course, China doesn't ignore that, and so there are Chinese people joining in the protest right now against Yoon. So basically, China, they are so manipulative. They know what to do. So, yeah. But anyway, so we are kind of overcoming it. I think that South Koreans nowadays see the real threat finally, and some people bash Japan historically, saying that we had annexation of South Korea, and basically for South Koreans, I guess mentally speaking, it's probably colonization to their mentality. Even though Japan had made sure that Koreans do their thing, and also we taught Korean language to Korean people, but Yeah, but of course, like it's not a pleasant feeling, I guess, and we have issues, but still we are overcoming it, and that's good. Yeah. Yeah. And oh yeah, where was I was getting at is that for Japan, like annexation costed Japan so much money, and so like our prime minister at the time, Ito, didn't want to do it. He was against it, but he got assassinated by South Korean. Doesn't make sense, right? He was against the annexation. He got assassinated just because he was a prime minister, and then they had the annexation. Some things in history are weird, but just I didn't live those eras, so I can't judge anything. But just saying about that superficially, yeah. But yeah. But what if both Russia and China want land? Are they gonna fight over it? Both China? What do you mean? Russia and China want land? Oh, you mean like China and Russia? The battle between China and Russia? I want China and Russia to fight. Too bad that they have agreed to not to fight though. That's something that we need to kind of dig, like a pressure a little bit to create the conflict. India and China, for example, they've had this border issue. They've been fighting, over the border. Same thing should happen with between China and Russia, but they know how to calculate well, so they're cooperating right now. I hope that, yeah, we need to do something about it. But for that though, because of that, if you support Tibet or Uyghurs, some people complain, oh, Uyghurs are Muslims, blah blah. No, you can support them. You know, like they're like Uyghurs. Like I'm friends with Uyghurs here, and they have completely like they're one of us. Like it's probably hard to imagine, but they speak Japanese and they're just living like one of us, and respect us, and they don't impose their values onto us. At least for Uyghurs in Japan. I can't speak for other Muslims, but at least them, yeah. And then we work together because of that. But yeah, if you support them, then they will fight against China, to take back their place, their land. Same for Southern Mongolia and Hong Kong. Yeah. Trump appears to miss his old friend Shinzo. Yeah. However, Ishiba plans to invest in America with Japanese production in the U.S. Like his predecessor Abe, still looking good. Yoko, cheers. Yes, thank you so much. The thing about Japan's leadership is that whoever becomes the head of our country, I mean, like on a political level, it's the same as for the past over a decade. It's been LDP, Liberal Democratic Party. It was funny that RSBN, the broadcasting system that I was watching, was clarifying though that LDP, even though it's a Liberal Democratic Party, it's a centrist party. It's similar to Republican Party. Like it has a lot of different type of people. But anyway, it's the same LDP. So even though Ishiba is bad, generally speaking, because of his background for the past decade or so, but it's still LDP. So like LDP is a type of party that has their own consensus. Like they agree after discussing within the party, And so like even Ishiba is actually listening to the party. He can't decide by his own. He's not a dictator. He's the leader of the party, so he needs to respect their people, you know. And also in Japan, I know that Americans complain about, you know, deep state in the US, and I bet that it's different in America. Like I see the vested interests and so on, you know, and it's probably in a bad cycle, I imagine. Over here in Japan, because like before the second time the Prime Minister Abe became the Prime Minister, our Prime Minister was replaced one after another. You know, it wouldn't last so long. That's why bureaucrats have to be strong. You know, like they need to know what they're doing, and they need to kind of, it's not control, but like they need to basically tell our leaders what to do, you know, because it gets replaced a lot, and like we can't swing like America does. Just not in our culture, you know, like we like to what's interesting about Japan is that we don't like changes. That's why good changes don't happen either, but bad changes don't happen either. We like to remain the same, you know, like culturally, basically. That's why our culture is fundamentally conservative leaning. We don't like changes. Changes are too risky, right? America likes to take risks for the better. That's why your country prosper, but takes risks, so sometimes you fall, right? But in Japan, we don't like to take risks, you know. So we just remain the same, and so bureaucrats help a lot too. So, and that because of that, though, this time, for example, the meeting went well because the bureaucrats worked so hard, especially this translator called like a mini or no little prime minister. Like he has a nickname from Trump because there's this foreign minister diplomat who is really good at translating, and he has joined the meeting with Abe and Trump many times before, so he's trained, and also Trump likes him too. So he attended this meeting this time with Ishiba and Trump, and he was the translator. So like that, like, but in America, if you apply that though to America, then that would be like he would be deep state. You know what I mean? So like Japan is different from America in that sense, I think. Also, but ja, thank you. We could stop Russia once and for all by winning a boxing match against their best boxers. But unfortunately, Rocky is kind of full now. Yeah, I wish that we wouldn't have to kill each other, right? Rocky, Rocky. チャリララリーナってやつ By the way, the music yeah. That music was the cleaning theme song of my junior high school. When I was wiping the floor, you know, like in Japan, we have to clean our school by our own. You know, students have to clean. We don't have janitors. We have to do it by our own. And it's we had to do that. Also, like bum 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 bum. I'm like swiping. Is it swiping? Like, yeah, like cleaning, bum 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 bum, cleaning songs. I don't know why they picked that songs, but anyway. What Tony said, they are just at infiltration stage. Thank you for a super chat. Eric said we can't. Tony said, Tony, as soon as they own a city to make their own community, they are going to disrespect. Yeah, I mean, same for Chinatown. Almost in their nature. If I had 50,000 characters, I will have write everything they have done this week in France. I don't even want to imagine. Oh man, what you guys are going through. Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah, it's natural, but it's the same in America though. They like Japanese people in America are getting together and they have their own community there. It's really weird, like seeing from Japan too. And Chinese people, they have Chinatown everywhere in the world. Japan has Chinatown in Yokohama, I believe, and also Nagasaki is influenced by China, and also on a residential level, there are districts here that like only Chinese people live. Basically, like the ratio is odd. Like dozens of Chinese students and a little Japanese. Like that sort of situation is already happening here, and so yeah, like seriously, because our geography is different from other countries. Uh, the immigrants that we have here are Chinese. The biggest ones are Chinese, Koreans, and Vietnamese. Vietnamese is growing somehow. So that's what we have. Yeah. Oh, super chat, thank you, Berta. Honestly, the Rocky theme would make cleaning my house seem badass. Yeah, thanks for the inspiration. Okay, yeah. Music matters. Music matters. When you're depressed, for example, if you play like a comedy music, then you will just realize that you're ridiculously being serious. I've been there. But yeah, music matters, man. We gotta all wipe our windows like I love the music. Music used to be so good back in the day. Fax machines are faster than the mail and t- tediously so many processes here are legally mandate paper handling. Yeah. Japan. Oh yeah, somebody asked, is that why Japan are still using fax machines? Yeah, we do have, but I heard that Americans are using it too, though. Still, our fax machines, by the way, are so cool. Like it's so advanced. Yeah, so interesting. Even though it seems like a kind of like, it's not digital enough, but like electronic level, but it works so well. Yeah, but Japan is digitalizing everything right now. So if I go to clinics, for example, like I have a disease, so I go to clinics for checkups, and every time I do that, like now I have an identification card, called my number card. Just like your social security number, I think. But we have a card, and it has just like a passport. It has your face and address, and also the number that is allotted to you. And then there's a card reader at the clinic, so I just place it and beep, 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 and they also recognize my face and done. And then the next moment, I'm like, Ishi-san. They call our name, and I go there, and sort of things. And also, I follow this politician named Fumiaki Kobayashi, and he's a current deputy environment minister, and he has a YouTube channel, and he talks about all this like technical like policy side of politics. Like he talks about policies a lot in details. And I translated one of his videos recently. It should be on my X. If you go to my X page and then probably like look for Kobayashi, then probably there will be a video. But he was explaining how, because due to the decline of our birth rate, there will be less people, of course, but what that means is that we need to do the same tax which needed like 10 people, but we need to do it with 8 people. But we have technology, and we can boost our productivity, so we can remain the same, that sort of stuff. So why am I talking about it? I forgot. Money. Anyway, Somebody's going to sleep. Oh, off to bed. Oh, you all have a good night. Oh, good night. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you. Good night. In America, students cleaning the school will be against the child labor laws. What? What? Yoko, you sue the school for back wages for your hard work in there at school. Oh, interesting. I remember when I was in elementary school, like schools are interesting. Like they had at least my school had posters inside school, and often like so in Japan, students don't move, teachers move, right? Oh, Shiba-chan, thank you. I will get to that. So so we have our home, our homeroom, and then teachers come. But sometimes on special occasions like cooking class or when we need to watch some movie or something, we need to go to like a special rooms. And I remember when I went to like some special rooms, the news like my school had a little poster that said like make it beautiful, more beautiful than it was when you entered. You know what I mean? So like Japanese people just have this culture of cleaning our place by our own, even hotel rooms. After we use it, we don't make a mess. Like we try to put it like tidy, like make sure that it's not like a hamster place, or what you call like a pig place. Super job, thank you. That's a lot of money, thank you. When I am weaker than you, I ask you for freedom because that is according to your principles. When I am stronger than you, I take away your freedom because that is like according to my principles. Frank Herbert. フランク・ハーバートって誰 Who is that? Thank you for the super chat. Sorry, I'm not smart enough to know that. Let me see. Frank Herbert. Novelist? American author. Oh, I see. Oh, good beard. で Oh, June? Oh, June だ. Dune. We watched Dune. Yeah, thank you. When I'm weaker than you, I ask for freedom because that is according to my principle. When you're stronger than you, I take over freedom because what is my principle? Ah, cool. Very, very cool. Thank you so much. Oh, another super chat. The Mongolian. Hey Yoko, have you heard of the moderate political streamers called Stitch and Adam? I definitely think you should check them out. They are very entertaining and hilarious. Oh, really? Moderate political streamer Stitch and Adam. Not Stitch. Sitch. Sorry. Do you guys follow them? Let me look it up. Sitch and Adam. Sitch is a name? Or what? Adam. Ta-da. This political show podcast. Dude. They have razor. Cool. Oh, yeah, they have a YouTube. Let's see. Cool. I'll check them out. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yup. Also, thank you. If they could move most things that require a phone call, just smartphone app website, Japan would instantly solve for manpower shortage. I know. There's so many like unnecessary procedures here in Japan. But Japanese people, just like Germans, we like to follow our rules, and we often make fun of ourselves as like a manual based country, like manual nation, because even if like wherever you go nowadays, that like you say something and then the person in charge will say like, oh, we are supposed to be this and that, and like it's like they are AI, they don't think flexibly, because of course like they don't have the authority to fix, like change things around either. So they'll just answer with like manual based answers. So yeah, so if you consider that, if you replace them with AI, I guess humans can do better things at different places, I guess. Yeah. That is what Minecraft taught us. It is rare to see Arabic with this kind of name. Oh yeah, the only one that have such French name shows after naturalization, like Jean, Messiha, or Claire. Oh, I can't read. Yeah, was it in UK that the most popular name is Muhammad? Was it UK? Oh, speaking of UK, uh, my husband was just telling me that, you know, like I was talking about with my husband, like how Ishiba and Trump went well, and it was not awful like with Trudeau, from Canada. Like Canada is going through a hard time, and Japan was not like that, so we're thankful. And also, people are like Japanese people are reacting to the smile of Trump, for example, as a measurement to see whether he likes us or not. But then, like after talking about stuff like that, my husband said that but the UK is the strong ally of America, but they don't have to appeal it to the world. They're just there, like formally, like they're so steady. Like the relation with America is very, very like that it's there and people don't overreact. So that's interesting. UK love Japan. Cool. We love the UK too. Yeah, like history shows that Japan UK alliance. You know, we are almost like on an alliance level with the UK. But the UK's policies to come to the Indo-Pacific, Suez. They are now investing in the Pacific, and the UK wants to become bigger, like what was it? Great, I forget the policy name, but yeah, that's good. Uh, my belief is the same as it's a kind of a common understanding, but like sea powers have to unite, like those land power countries like China and Russia, they know only how to fight. Like they like to fight for resources and everything because they are land power. But sea power nations, we have all the luxury, like we are surrounded by the ocean, so it's more secure, and also we have fish and everything, sea products surrounding us. And also because we are kind of isolated, usually, like not the UK nowadays, but usually, you know, people can focus on domestic issues. So we are more safe, and so we have the room for discussing things rather than desperately seek for foods and resources and so on. So because we are blessed like that, we should cooperate, like Japan, Australia, America, the UK, even India, Mm. Why is North Korea the way it is? Because of Kim Jong Un, I mean, Kim family regime. King Kong? Yeah, Japanese people were abducted by North Koreans, so we need to rescue them. But because Japan doesn't have, like, we have self defense forces, but we don't have the system. Like, we have to revise our constitution to be able to have like a normal military forces, and we can't. It's not like we can. It's hard to declare a war against North Korea. So like it's so like we've been negotiating with North Korea, but man, it's been tough. But Trump is very like it's because of Shinzo Abe though. He told Trump to, I mean, asked Trump to cooperate with abduction issue by North Korea. And Trump is a kind person. He is a really good-hearted person, and also uh, Trump understands the threats of North Korea. So Trump is like it was reflected in the meeting the other day too. I believe that abduction issue is something that America will work on together with us. So that's good. Hey. Ooh. In France, Muhammad is the 29th most given name in France with 2,000. Is it? Wow. Wow. My friend moved out of France, by the way, because it's because it's too dangerous there. Let's see. Anything else to talk about before I go? Out of curiosity, what's the general reaction of the Japanese people of Trump election and his meeting with Ishiba? Generally, generally, Trump re-election. It's hard to tell. どう思うトランプの反が勝ったことへの反応、日本人の一般的な反応。保守しかわかんないね。うん。あんま気にしないよね。うん。だからどうなるんだろう。うん。Japanese people were just もうわけわかんなくなるよ。わからなくなるね。先がわからなくなる。ああ、それだね。はいはいはい。Generally, it's probably the impression of Trump administration is that even conservatives included, like we can't read. It's good and bad, right? But we can't read how Trump will do things. So it really, I do hear that from like our national diet members too. Like when talking about Ukraine or China, like we can't tell. Only time will tell, Usually politicians have patterns and we can read and assume what's going to happen. So based on that, we prepare and so on. But Trump, people cannot predict for sure like which direction he goes. So it's hard to prepare, I guess. And people just see him as somebody that cannot predict. What was interesting about Ishiba is that he said like, before meeting Trump, he thought that Trump was frightening and so on. It turned out to be false. But it's because our media outlets often use information from left bias media in the US. Even our public service NHK news station NHK. When I'm watching NHK, often the segment goes like bah, 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 and then ABC News, and they air the ABC News footage to talk about America and so on. Even though it's usually just to introduce what's going on in the US, like, oh, Trump got elected and people are behaving this way and that sort of things. Even though it's just a small segment like that, still, like, they just either directly borrow it or just base their perspective on what's reported in the US. So often, Japanese people get influenced by that. But conservatives, though, uh, especially after Trump became close with Abe. Abe supporters became a fan of Trump. You know how that works. Like you guys like Shinzo Abe because Trump was close to Abe, right? Like that's the entrance of your recognition. So that same thing happened here mutually. So like conservatives just like they like Trump, and wish that our leader was strong like him. Oh, super chat, thank you. Oh, what can I? Heart. Yoko tax, yes. バナナの謎はまだ謎なの謎。What is that? What is that? Such a slippery joke, right? Because it's banana. バナナの謎はまだ謎なの謎。I like the rhythm. What? Is it from something? Banana mystery is still a mystery. Mm. Thoughts on the meme of Shinzo Abe protecting Trump from the assassin's bullet? I mean, as Japanese, I was happy to see that. The many people in Japan, I think, were glad to see that. But for me, I'm just worried about American people's sentiment, like how they feel, how Americans would rather view it. Because for you, it's supposed to be like divine intervention, and then if you put Shinzo Abe, it's like, is that supposed? I don't know. Like, I kind of, I don't know. Is if that's okay with you, I'm happy. Yeah. But Japanese Shinto is exactly like Star Wars movie. So in Star Wars, those who have passed are still with you as Force. So Shinzo Abe is like that. At least how we see it. Still with us, protecting us. Yes. So that's in a way it's accurate, at least from my perspective. God bless Shinzo Abe. So yeah, thank you. Shinzo Abe is often misunderstood though. Like he used to get attacked as globalist, and also he was kind of, I don't think it's his intention, but he did push immigrants too. So that's why like right wings would bash him for not being truly conservative and so on. But because of his image, it's like, I don't know, like people don't know him well, but just pile up all this good image about him. Like I'm part of me is glad, but at the same time, I'm like it's kind of misleading. So yeah, it's like a mixed feelings. But Shinzo Abe was a charismatic leader, and he did go through the same problems that Trump has been going through, being attacked by the left media and being name called as Hitler and dictator and fascist and all that sort of stuff. Exactly the same problem. So no wonder they got along. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Could you put is everybody asleep or is Cloud Tears posted nonstop? I don't know. Yeah, honoring his memory. Yeah, that's thoughtful. Yeah, 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 yeah. What is the scariest scene from the Titanic? I was scared the most from when after the ship sank. After like I didn't want Jack to die. So that was the scariest. Like, no, don't do that. Yoko tariff. It's a tariff, not just tax, but tariff. Thank you so much. Yes. We gotta, make sure that the deficit disappear. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. In 2016, Shinzo Abe was the first foreign leader to meet with him. Yeah. I was hoping Shigeru Ishiba would have tried to do the same. Yeah. What's interesting about that though is that when Shinzo Abe went to meet with Trump and like right after he got elected in 2016, it was bashed. It was actually bashed. It turned out to be great, but at the time that he went, he was bashed because you're not supposed to do that when Obama was still in power. It's disrespect for Obama, right? But the Japanese perspective is that nobody thought in Japan, aside from me and a few others, that Trump was gonna win. So even the like a foreign ministry, and our like conservative experts too, the majority didn't see it coming, and they thought, or rather, they wished that Hillary would win. So Japanese side wasn't ready. So but when it's seen from Trump, it's probably disrespectful, right? For Trump. So Abe had to hurry to meet him to amend, like to make it work. And even though like we started from the minus, like not believing Trump's victory, but Abe went, so like this is the standard. So then it became like we did much better, you know. So that's good. But Ishiba's for Ishiba, people were talking about it too to go meet him. But Wiles, Susan Wiles actually stopped us from meeting, and I don't know why. Like they did show like a Logan Act. What was that? Like there's some law, right, that prohibits like private people to meet like government officials and so on. Um, so that was what we were told, but other leaders were meeting him, like Trudeau and so on. So we were like, what the hell is going on? And then the media here were reporting all different things, like by assumption, based on assumptions. And so it was pretty chaotic. And I don't know what would have been the best, to be honest. But Japan-US alliance is actually very steady, like stable. So I guess that we didn't have to hurry because we can see that Trump has priorities, like southern border and also like Middle East situation and Ukrainian situation and many more. Like you guys have all these problems. And as for Japan, there is no like there aren't many issues like that need like urgency, because we're already on the same page, and we've been working together. And Trump, I know that he's gonna just keep working with us closely. So yeah, let's see. Yoko-san, why doesn't the Conservative Japan Innovation Party partner with LDP instead of Komeito Party? Good question. But because Komeito is said to be that, like they have their Komeito's support group, the big support group is Soka Gakkai. Some people refer to that as a cult group, but Buddhism group. And they, because it's a religious group nationwide, they have branches in entire Japan. Like even in my neighborhood, like in a walking distance, there's Komeito building. It's everywhere in Japan. And and also they are hardworking people, so they work so hard during elections as well, like calling people, their acquaintance, their family, friends, and everyone they know to vote for their party, and when they cooperate with LDP, they will say like, "Oh, vote for LDP." Like they will work for you. So LDP was basically using them. In return, Komeito gets to be the coalition partner. So that's good enough for Komeito, because they are the governing party too. Yeah. Oh, super chat, thank you. Millet too. Oh yeah, Millet too. Meet with him early, but that was under invitation to Malago by Elon. Oh, by Elon, not Trump. Huh? Elon is friends with Millet. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Ooh, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, Millet. Yeah. he's fixing Argentina, right? So great. Yeah. Millet is talked about in Japan as well. Some people support him because it's especially like those like MAGA type of people in Japan, those who support Trump like they are Americans, even though they're Japanese. They like Millet too. Yeah. It's just bold moves though what he's doing. Like it's easy to cut people, but I don't know. It's from the Japanese, like regular Japanese values. It's such a bold move that he takes. But yeah, as for the when Milei went Malago, and then there was this YouTuber that went to Malago too. Briefly met with Trump, I think, but yeah. Kometo is conservative? No. No, they're pro China. So it's like LDP does a good thing on one hand, Kometo stops them, basically. So that's why our politics have been weird. Whenever, for example, like in 2015, under Abe administration, our we wanted to pass security bill for collective defense capabilities with other countries, but leftists didn't like it and attacked so much. But at the same time, within the coalition of the ruling parties, Komeito got rid of. No, it's not that got rid of. They just added more conditions. Like when we can activate collective defense system. Komeito is like, oh, at this condition, when Japan is in danger of, continuing to be a sovereign nation or something like that. Like they just add things to bind us because they believe that we are the bad guy against China and so on, like all the Asian countries, like war guilt imprinted people, so they will always bind us. And even I don't know, yeah, just generally China, as for China, they are very pro China, so but that's the elderly generation though, and younger generation have different mindset nowadays, especially after seeing the protests in Hong Kong and so on. So, or even Uyghur situation with the concentration camps. Um, so it's the elderlies. Elderly people are the problem. At the same time, because fundamentally the elderlies are active in the party too, just like any other religious groups here, they're dying out, like literally. They're getting older. They're disappearing from the political field. So the dynamics are shifting. So I don't know. Maybe it's a matter of time, like what happens to the coalition of LDP. But LDP needs a better leader. Somebody younger, fresh, smart. Like maybe like Takaichi, or maybe like Koba Hawk, type, very familiar with policies and not too right wing or conservative, but just regularly conservative and also realist too. So maybe that'll be good. Uh, oh yeah, this. Right. Oh, timeout. Okay, put in timeout. Let's see. A few YouTube people went to Mar-a-Lago. Ooh, they did. Yeah, only we just noticed this one Japanese YouTuber. So like some people were saying like pointing out like, oh, Ishiba. That does that mean that Ishiba is has smaller influence than the YouTuber? Let's see. Why don't people get mad at the religious committee like they did against Mooney's Unification Church? Exactly. You know why though? It is because Komeito aligns with leftists, you know? Because basically Komeito, if you simplify what they believe in, it's like they are pro China and they are against wars. They care about the small voices. They don't care about Japanese voices. They just care about small voices. And so that's why it's, in a way, it's similar to leftists, right? So that's why they can't. I don't think the liberals will be interested in attacking them because Komeito does bind LDP, and their ideology is similar to leftists. So yeah, but also Soka Gakkai, the support group, is everywhere in Japan. Uh, the biggest is like TV and so on, uh, like show business type of things or entertainment in general. There are lots of like Soka Gakkai people that are famous and they have power within the sector. So it's, if they bash Komeito or Soka Gakkai, then it will backfire to them. They could, like, I can only imagine, but probably like they would get the consequences in their jobs and so on. So they don't want to create problems for themselves. But Unification Church originates from South Korea, so, and also they wanted to attack LDP. Well, whatever they can attack LDP with, whether it's Unification Church or some other like financial scandals, they will just use them as ammunition. Japan just needs to produce more youth and populate the older generation. Yeah, the difficult part is that our culture is that we respect the elderlies. I think it's common in East Asia or maybe even in broad Asia too. It's the elderlies. Elderlies are supposed to be smart with wisdom, and we respect the hard work that they've put into their career and so on. But nowadays, that's not the case though. Like, elderly people are usually like, they just have so much power, but they don't work as hard, and they just impose like old-fashioned values and so on. And not everybody, but especially when humans don't have enough, they abuse their power. So that's why there are, like, we even have a term for older people too. You know, I don't know why. I forgot the translation because there are variations of that term, but we call that out too. Yeah. But it's true though that their experiences are important too, because it includes connections and so on too. So for example, my local area, I was like, we were like, he moved away, but like this former minister for the environment. He was powerful inside LDP, and he's been the minister, and also he served for like I think over 10 times, 10 terms. 하루 더 요시하게 생겼어. Or 8개? Eight terms, sorry, 8 terms. Um, and very powerful. So through him, like when we talk to him, like he can introduce us because he has all this career, long career, being way older than us. He has all these people. He knows many people. He has many experiences, and so we can borrow that, because he's nice. He's willing to share that with us, and very, very, he was such a great guy. So things like that do happen. Just that we just wish that everybody was like that, but just not nowadays. Some people are not like that. Podcasters. さて、おはようございます、アメリカ。おはようございます。おはよう。おはよう。そろそろ My husband is saying soro soro. Maybe we should. Man, people are waking up. Good morning. Good evening. I'm late. まあ大丈夫だよ。この間大丈夫だよ。Good morning, good evening. I'm late. The crazy people are losing their minds since Trump. Oh yeah, it's Trump. Bye, okay. Mine since Trump got in over here, I only see them getting worse in short term. What? Crazy people are losing their minds since Trump got in over here. Really? See them getting worse in short term. Are things getting worse for America? What time is it over there? Here is my clock. It's almost 6. Oh no, past 6. It's past 6 p.m. Clock is on the wall. I had to renew the clock because the old one kept, pointing the time behind, and it was not due to the. It was not a matter of battery. It was just late. So. Whew. Oh, looking at the foreign minister. Yeah, foreign minister. Our foreign minister is really problematic. He has received money from China, and he didn't get arrested though. So I don't know where exactly he stands, but it's true that he did receive money. So, and also he likes to visit China. So yeah. Oh, Super Chat, thank you. People are waking up and I'm going to bed. Good night and see you next week. Oh, you're going to bed? Oh, thank you so much for all your support of Bird Up Son. Thank you so much. And I really hope to see you next week too. Thank you. You guys should thank Bird Up. He is a big sponsor of this channel, as you can see from the super chat that he's given. Thank you. Good night. Should I go too? If no more super chat, I should go. I mean, it's how long have I been speaking? It's so crazy that every time I'm impressed by myself, like I keep talking. I never shut up. I keep talking. Joe, that's what I'm talking about. The crazy leftists over here. All the entire problem. Yep. Oh, I'm getting sleepy from you. Do you want to see older newspaper? Oh, did I show you that? A long time ago. Somehow, I just saw Trump here. Trump tariff. I think I showed that before, no? I don't know. When is this from? Oh, from last week. Yep, anyway, I'm getting sleepy after talking like forever. I guess you guys are falling asleep too. Should I go? I think so. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Okay, 2 hours. Wow, 2 hours straight. I've been speaking. Yay! Thank you so much for your super chat, guys, and also all the engagement. Sorry if I didn't pick up your comments though. I try my best. I talk a lot. It's nice to hear your perspective. Glad I found your channel. Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me. Yeah. Um, I try to be as objective as I can, and also I actually have connections. I might I might seem like one of just a random person on social media, but I am engaged in real politics, like I have connections with National Diet members, activists, media people, not only in Japan but outside of Japan. And I work as a human rights activist to fight China and Russia. So through that activities, I have a lot of allies in the world too. So yeah, so like I'm a little bit different from regular people, and also making a habit to watch what's going on in the on social media, what people are talking about and so on. And I can put aside my emotions. I try to just look into what people are saying, and also, yeah, I translate things to show the different perspective for for people outside of Japan. Yeah, I hope it's working for you. I try to I try, there are many professional people, like reporters and journalists and so on, that are officially working as journalists and so on. They have a different type of working style. So I try to, I'm not one of them, because I can't work like that. Like, it doesn't fit with my personality, but it has a bright side, like I can talk about different things from them and so on. So anyway, I'm so glad that people find it interesting. It really means a lot to me. Thank you. Great insight and perspective. Yay! Play the piano. I need to plug that in. It was a good stream. I saw max 77 live viewers at the peak viewing. Oh, cool. Yeah, I need to boost the number. And also, I need to, like, when my income rises, when I have more money, I need to buy my laptop. My laptop is not working well to have a live stream, and also I need to subscribe to some kind of service to live stream on multi platforms, like I was using with like before, like I was doing with StreamYard before. StreamYard, their memory just got full and I have to pay extra. I'm like, no. So, but anyway, yeah, hopefully one day, soon enough, I can get good gears. Okay, I'm getting sleepy. I think two hours was I forgot. Thank you guys. New Orleans. Yeah. I can be your source. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like, yeah, you guys tell me what's going on, like where you are, and that's a good information for me. So, thank you so much. Let's meet again next week, okay? Hope you have a great night, and also I hope you have a wonderful day today too. Glad I found your channel. Thank you. Tell your friends and families about this channel. And this is interactive, and so yeah, tell them that you can talk to a Japanese person in Japan, real time. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a good day or a good night. Thank you. Bye bye.